Hi, this is Linda, and you have just entered Boomer Therapy. And I'm glad you're here. So we're going to talk about Arizona today. Are you ready to rock and roll? Let's go. Today I'm taking you to Arizona. Arizona is where I have lived for over 46 years. And there's so much to say about Arizona. It is absolutely wonderful. And I think it even gets better. Only thing is I have a problem with some of the politics sometimes, but it's worth it. It's worth it to stay here. So let's check out to see how you do and if you can become a Zonie like us. So let's do a Boomer Brain Buster. Check it out. All right, everybody, are you ready to play Boomer Brain Buster, Arizona style? We're going to see what kind of Zonie you are today. So starting with number 1, Arizona has 5 C's of its economic success: climate, copper, and citrus. What are the other 2? Is it corn and cactus, cactus and cattle, cattle and cotton, or cotton and cactus? Look at it closely. Did you get cattle and cotton? You are absolutely right. In fact, today with our copper, we supply 66% of the nation's copper. The biggest thing that we are seeing not as a big part of our economy, and one of them is cotton. Cotton in the late 80s, Arizona used to have 60% of the Pima cotton in the country. Today, it's only 2%. With cattle, too. Cattle is another thing that we used to supply 40 to 50%. Now it's only 5%. And with cotton, it's expensive to grow cotton. It takes a lot of water, takes a lot of labor. So a lot of the farmers are now going for crops like alfalfa, greens, pistachios, dates, things like that, which are a little bit more cost effective. There are some people that suggest that the 2 C's should be changed to canyon and cactus, like in the Grand Canyon, and we have plenty of cactus, even though they never really drove the U.S. or Arizona economy like the original 5 C's, but they thought that would make more sense than the 5 C's of the old economic successes. Okay, number 2. Of the United States, where does Arizona rank in size? Is it 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th? If you said 6th, you are right. In size, we are in between New Mexico and Nevada as far as size. So New Mexico is a little larger than us and Nevada is a little smaller. Number 3, Arizona's population grew rapidly after World War II, due in part to the development of what? Rail transportation, new highways, air conditioning, or copper mining. If you said air conditioning, you are right on. Yeah, it's very difficult to live here in Arizona without air conditioning, but they did. They used to sleep on their porches. They would have a lot of plants that grew around their homes. They'd wet them down before they went to bed and kind of naturally had a swamp cooler. And if you needed an air conditioner for your car, there's these handy dandy ones that actually attach to your window. It produced cool air into the car, which they didn't work very well. Number 4, how much of Arizona is made up of Indian reservation? Is it 10%, 25%, 28%, or 30%? If you said 25%, you were right. 1/4 of Arizona is Indian reservation. We have 21 tribes, and the largest being the Navajo reservation. Number 5, what is the Arizona state gemstone? Is it turquoise, diamonds, sapphire, or rubies? Did you get turquoise? You are right. Turquoise is pretty abundant in this state. It actually needs the kind of conditions Arizona has as far as the land and temperatures and things like that. It is a byproduct. When copper comes together with another element and then it rains and then it just kind of it forms these turquoise looking stones. And you can see the lines in them there. That's mostly copper. Number 6. What is Arizona's state bird? Is it the robin, the roadrunner, the cactus wren, or the vulture? Did you guess cactus wren? You're right. The cactus wren, I'll tell you, ornery little cuss. They're so cute. Some of them can, if you leave your window down, I have heard stories that the cactus wrens will go into your car, and if you have anything to pick at, they will. But they also make holes in the cactus, or they actually have nests in the cactus. But they are starting to have a little competition. And this competition is these peach-faced lovebird. There is a lot more on the east side, Paradise Valley, Scottsdale, that area, but they are coming west. I've seen a few flying over, but not as many as they have over there. But they also like to lay their eggs in cactus.
So how'd you do? Are you a Zonie? Did you get all 5 C's? Well, you're taught that. If you have gone to 3rd grade on up here, you've learned your 5 C's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you part 3 in my story. And because I have been here for so long, I think it's a little bit more difficult to give you everything. So I'm going to start from coming down out of Flagstaff and just give you some facts that about Arizona, about Phoenix, and how much has changed. And throughout this Boomer Therapy channel, I will give you some more Arizona facts and take you out to Arizona. So without further ado, let's see part 3. Check it out.
Well, here is the 3rd episode. Short Story of My Life by me, Linda, part 3. Grace, stop. Well, we left off with me and my family heading towards Arizona. Now, I have to tell you, I have never, ever been to Phoenix or Arizona, so I had no clue on what to expect. So when I was heading south on the I-17, we were leaving Flagstaff, which was mountainous with pine trees, and I'm used to that in Colorado. Well, the terrain started to change so differently. I'd never seen anything like it. So as we were going down into the valley, I was driving my Chevy Nova, which didn't look as cool as this car because it didn't have the wheels like that. But we were driving down, and I pick up the local radio stations of Criz and Crux AM, which were my favorite music at the time. So I thought that was cool. Well, this commercial comes on. It was talking about people partying in a Fifth National Bank on an Indian school. And I thought, holy cow, these people are really weird. They're partying in a bank in an Indian school. I had no clue what I was going to see when I got there. And it was the first time I ever saw a saguaro cactus. Holy cow, I could hardly keep my eyes off of them. They were absolutely shocking to me. They were so cool. I was floored on just the terrain and the flora and the fauna and the music and what the people were doing before I even parked my car in Phoenix, Arizona. My parents already had come out before we moved down there and bought a home in North Phoenix. And the home that they bought was already 2 years old. But in this area, this is a new home that was put in by John Long. It was fairly good open house for the money. I think my parents may have paid $30,000 for it at the time. And it had 4 bedrooms. It was maybe, I'm thinking 1,600 square feet, but it was open in it, and it wasn't like our Denver homes, which were pretty closed off. John Long was absolutely amazing. He created Maryvale, which is a little town. Well, it's not a little town anymore, but it's pretty big now, but a community. He started it in 1954. He named it after his wife, Mary. When he died in 2008, he had been very successful for 40 years. Today, his son Jake is general partner of the company. He actually doesn't do any of the home building. His company doesn't do home building anymore. They focus primarily on commercial projects in the West Valley. Phoenix blew me away, and it had such a small feel to it. It felt like a small town to me. I have to talk about it feeling like the Wild Wild West. There were some restaurants that were very popular that I've got to talk about. And the first one is Rawhide. Rawhide was amazing to me. You would go to Rawhide, you could walk up and down the streets there, and there were stores, and there was a place to eat, and there was a bar, and there was like shootouts and all kinds of things going on. It actually started in the late 1800s by a man named Charles Rawhide Raleigh. And he always wanted to start his own town, and he did, and he owned the store to provide goods and services and jobs for the settlers that were surrounding it. It was pretty successful. It ended up with a steakhouse, the Golden Bell Saloon. It closed in 2005. The land there was so prime for housing. So they disassembled it and moved it. Today it's on the Gila River Indian Community, southwest of Chandler. But one of my favorite things at Rawhide was this silly, goofy thing. Now, the one they had at Rawhide was the piano playing chicken. And you put a quarter in it, seeds would drop down on a piano, and the chicken would peck out the seeds. Of course, he made the piano play. My God, it just cracked me up. The next one I want to talk about of the Wild Wild West, this is all in North Scottsdale, is going to be Riata Pass. Riata Pass began in 1882 as an old stagecoach stop. And in the 1950s, it had chuck wagon steaks and all the fixins, really nothing fancy, but it became kind of a fun spot to go to. It closed in 2012 and it was demolished in 2015. We used to like going up there, another place that was really fun. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is Pinnacle Peak Patio, another one that was in North Scottsdale. These were all in that kind of Scottsdale area. Pinnacle Peak Patio started in 1957 as a small store that the owners sold beer and bait to the fishermen as they were heading towards the lakes. And soon he decided, well, you know what? I'm going to start barbecuing steaks, these 32-ounce steaks. Pretty soon it caught on. Another cute little place. It had the cowboy steak and the potato and all the fixins, and it wasn't crazy over the top great food, but the atmosphere was so fun. Don't ever wear a tie into Pinnacle Peak Patio because they will cut it off and hang it on the ceiling. It opened in 1957 and it closed in 2015. Today, if you take a look, all that area where Pinnacle Peak Patio, Riata Pass, Rawhide, All those areas are all now homes. Here's a little bit of Phoenix unknown facts. Phoenix population when we got here was 1,117,000. Now we're talking Phoenix, Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, Glendale, all the surrounding towns. Phoenix population today is 2020 is 4,584,000. And again, it's the surrounding areas and Phoenix. It's up 210% since we moved here in 1975. Maricopa County is the fourth most populous county in the United States. Phoenix is the fifth largest city in the United States. It beat out Philadelphia. Phoenix grew really fast and a lot of changes were made. I can't list all of them, but I want to give you a few. We will not see a Jimco, a LaBelle's, a Yellowfront, a Smitty's, an Alpha Beta, Skaggs Drugs, Thrifty Drugs, Rexall Drugs. We won't see Goldwater's, we won't see Dillard's, and we won't see A.J. Bayless Markets anymore. They are all, that's just name a few that are closed and no longer with us, that they have passed on to greener pastures. When we first got here, one of the first things that we were told we needed to go check out was a new place, well, it was 2 years old at the time, by the name of Metro Center. And this was a huge mall that was absolutely cool. Down below, it had an ice rink, it had, in the food court, it had all of these different restaurants, and you can overlook the ice rink. It had all the cool stores. Oh my gosh, we went so many times. Metro Center is another one that has passed on in 2020. So it was open from 1973 to 2020, and it's had a lot of changes. They took the ice rink out, they changed a lot of the stores. A lot of the stores went out of business. It just it just didn't keep up with the change of the times. Rest in peace, Metro Center.
I hope you're hooked on Arizona too, because I really am. I was totally blown away when I first arrived here. It took me a long time to just shake being a tourist. It was really hard to go and find a job because I was having so much fun just seeing the desert and the cactus and everything. I just couldn't believe it. And you know what's cool too? Is now I am at retirement age and I don't have to go anywhere but Arizona. So I don't have to uproot. All my kids are here, all of my relatives, and it's just awesome. And we're not too far away from California if you want to go to the ocean. We're not too far from sand if you want to ride your side-by-side, or desert, or water. We have some fantastic lakes out here. So it's been a wonderful life. My husband and I, Lee, we are still together. In September it will be 46 years. So it's been a fun, wild, crazy ride, and I love every minute of it. And I am so glad that you are watching this episode. I want you to, if you have lived in Arizona in the 70s and you can remember it, down below in the comments, give me a memory, share a memory with me, because I would love to hear it, because there is so much more that I can talk about that has changed, that has gotten better. It's crazy. So anyway, I want you to take care of yourself, learn something every day, hug a teacher, and peace out.